Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, Jack Arute, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Talladega Superspeedway, where Davey Allison is in the lead. There you can see his finishes on the Superspeedways. He has the lead over Ken Schrader and Darrell Waltrip. Then comes Terry Labonte in 4th place, and then Bill Elliott, as the leaders begin to move in on some of the slower traffic. Dave Marcus is on the inside and being lapped by those up front. There are now 19 cars in the lead draft, as Phil Bartol and Dale Earnhardt have both broken away from it. Actually fallen behind it. There's the average speed, 189.623, more than 3 miles an hour faster than the race record. Let's hope we can keep up this pace all the way through and we'll not have to interrupt the flow or for any caution periods.
Well, there's some guys out there right now that would love to see a caution flag because they're just simply. Dale Earnhardt is a classic example. He is, as you mentioned just a moment ago, at the back of this lead draft. He needs a caution flag to get back up there and to adjust his car as well. I was hoping maybe this lead draft would be able to use some of these slow cars and some of the guys that have been trying to.
A.J. Foyt is in 11th position. He spent most of the weekend in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby, arriving back here late yesterday afternoon for a very few number of practice laps in the final practice session. But he is ready to race today. And A.J. Foyt, who began this race from the 11th starting position, is still in that spot.
Say, that's quite an accomplishment that he didn't get to practice in the car after he qualified. He hopped on an airplane, I guess his own airplane, and went back to Louisville, and there's Rusty Wallace running behind A.J. Foyt as we watch out the windshield of Rusty Wallace. But Harry Gant took the A.J. Foyt car out for just a few laps of practice yesterday, but I don't think he ever got it up to speed.
Jerry Punch can entertain us with a story concerning A.J. Foyt.
You mentioned that A.J. went up to Kentucky yesterday for the Kentucky Derby. He had a horse that he raised that does breed thoroughbreds. He had a horse that ran in one of the preliminary races up there called Crimson Memory. And I asked A.J. before the race, he was getting in the car, he chuckled and said, I said, how'd the horse run yesterday? He said, like a mule all day long. He said, the thing barely, I think the thing went the opposite way out of the gate. He said, but I hope I run a whole lot better today. He said, I'm going to try to hang with these leaders for most of the afternoon.
The Copenhagen Oldsmobile is not running like a mule at the moment in the lead draft. Here is the action in front of Foyt. As we see now, Darrell Waltrip in that 3rd position, but he has dropped back a little from the front two, namely Kent Schrader and the leader, Davey Allison. Here is Gant working the inside line again.
He's not making any headway down there. Right behind him, we see Jeff Bodine in the bright yellow car trying to get by Rick Wilson, and he made the pass going down in turn 1.
From inside Jeff's car.
Looks so easy, doesn't it, Ned?
Yeah, it does look so easy, but it's not easy.
Now we look at Bodine from out the back class of the Harry Gant car.
Ooh, look at Bodine close right up on Harry on the outside. He's got position. Does Harry know he's there? That's the question.
Bodine's got him.
Yeah, he just motored right on by up there.
Wow.
There is Dale Earnhardt. Talk about being hung out to dry. He is indeed hung out to dry, running by himself. What's the update on him, Jack?
They're very concerned about the cars. We alluded to before they thought it might be just the wind kicking up, but now they're starting to check the stagger on the tires and making some changes on pit road in terms of tire stagger because of the fact they feel that it could have been a poor choice of tires as well. But what they've done is radioed back and forth to Dale and just said, look, we know, but you've got to just hang on because track positioning is so very important here. We can't pull you onto pit road.
All right, should we continue under green, gentlemen? When can we expect the first set of pit stops?
I think they're going to pit somewhere between laps 40 and 45. That's over 100 miles, but they can go more than 100 miles on a tank of fuel with the restrictor plates. Some of them might even stretch it up to over 40 miles.
And one thing that's going to happen today is when those front cars start going into the pits and making their pit stop, as we see Morgan Shepherd down on the inside of Bodine, when those front leaders start making their pit stop, the other fellows are going to go in the pits as well, because they just simply cannot afford to be caught on the racetrack without someone to draft with.
And they hope that the other pit crew makes as good a pit stop as they do. That's one time they're pulling for other pit crews to make a good pit stop.
Morgan Shepherd, the number 75 car, now runs behind Harry Gant as Morgan got himself low on the racetrack but decided to blend back up into the drafting line. Talking about fuel mileage, remember that at Daytona, Darrell Waltrip ran the last 132.5 miles on a tank of fuel. That equals out to 53 laps. We're glad you could join us on this Sunday afternoon for the Winston 500 at the world's fastest speedway, Talladega.